Hey everybody, I wanted to make a Beatle Finds video. I finally got enough stuff together to make a real video. So here we go. First things first, I picked up a couple of 45s. I've been trying to increase my 45 collection. It's pretty small as of now, but I'm going to work on that. So first things first, I'm trying to find original Parlophone releases by the Beatles. I don't know if this is an original one, but it's definitely on the Parlophone label. This is Help, backed with I'm Down. See, this is the Help side, and then there's I'm Down. And I'm Down happens to be one of my favorite Beatle B-sides. I just love the Paul vocal on that, and John playing the organ, and George Harrison's guitar tone on I'm Down is fantastic. So I was really happy to get this, and the sound quality is really, really good on this. And of course, maybe those of you who don't know, the mix on the single version of Help has a completely different John Lennon lead vocal. It sounds, if you're used to the regular stereo version that's on like all the CDs, all of the common CDs that have been around since the 80s, and then of course the remasters that came out, except the mono remasters, but the new remasters. This version of Help, the vocal is completely different. It really kind of blew my mind the first time I heard it a couple years ago. So anyway, that's Help, I'm Down. Then I picked this up. This is definitely a reissue. I think this came out in like the late 70s, early 80s. This is Please Please Me, backed with Ask Me Why. Got a little bit of ring wear, but that's all right. And it is on the Parlophone label. And this one's in really, really nice shape. There's Please Please Me, and there is Ask Me Why. Two songs I really like a whole lot. Two John Lennon songs, actually. And yeah, just happy to have this. I have Ballad of John and Yoko, Old Brown Shoe 45 from the same series. So I'd like to eventually get the whole series, but I know there are a lot of singles that were put out. So I'm on my way with these first two. Okay, and then in addition, I got a Canadian 45 on the Capitol Orange label, and it's All My Lovin' backed with This Boy. It was in kind of rough shape, so I put it in my jukebox, and it sounds fantastic. So I got it for like $1. So it's one of those 45s that it's already beat up anyway, and so it's fun to have it in my jukebox to have Beatles songs to listen to. So I did get that Canadian All My Lovin', This Boy, and Fit to Be Tie-Dyed Paul. I know maybe you have more information about that. It's on the orange label with Capital written kind of large. I think it's like early to mid 70s. Anyway, there you go. Now on to I have 3 albums here. First one. This is one that I've seen. I'm sure you've all seen this one. It's always in a record store. But I finally picked it up because I actually read a little bit about it. I read some of the interviews from this. And so I wanted to just hear it for myself. I got it for, I think, like $8. It's a double album. This is the Beatle tapes from the David Wigg interviews. Now, a lot of times, there's a whole lot of these out there, these Beatle interview records. Most of them, in my opinion, are really, really bad and kind of a waste of time. A lot of it's from like the Beatlemania days, so the recording quality is really, really crappy. And generally what they're talking about isn't that interesting to me. This is a huge exception. This is fantastic. All these interviews were done in 1969, right around the Abbey Road time period. So like I think right when Abbey Road was either already had just come out or was just about to come out. So they talk a lot about some of the Abbey Road songs, and it's right around the time period where they're talking about the band breaking up. And as I look on the back here, I see that they have the dates on here. So the John Lennon interview comes from June 1969 and October 1971. So that's obviously right before or right around Abbey Road, and then obviously after the Beatles broke up. And then the Paul interview is from March 1970. Now, we all know that in April was when Paul announced that he had left the Beatles. So that's an interesting time to hear Paul talking about the Beatles. And then you got George Harrison, March 1969, same time as Paul. Or no, year before Paul. And then Ringo is December 1968, July 1970, and December 1973. But anyway, it's a really, really, really great interview record. And like I said, it's a double album. And it comes with a little bit of a book inside. And this one's in really good shape, which is nice. I'm kind of afraid, like me, Mr. Mayo always says he's kind of afraid to turn the pages into these things, but I'll see if I can do it without messing everything up. But it's got some kind of interesting photos. Nothing that we haven't seen before, but it's on Polydor. This happens to be a German import, or actually no, a British import. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's on the Polydor label. And the records are in great shape because it's an interview disc, and who listens to the interview disc more than once? Not many people. So I was happy to get this, and like I said, for $8, couldn't go wrong, and happy to add it to my collection. So next time you see this in your record store or a record store, and you're thinking about getting it, if you're a Beatles fan, it's really, really worth listening to at least once. So yeah, there you go, the Beatle tapes. Okay, then I have two Beatle imports, is what I would call them. First one's the weirdest one. This is Abbey Road, and this is from Taiwan. So it is in this like baggy kind of thing, and it's very flimsy. The cover is very weird. It's got like a weird, like almost 3D look to it, but I think it was unintentional. I think it was like a printing error. But I'll try to get this close so you can see without the glare going. I don't know if the glare is going to be real bad, but it's kind of blurry. So it's not my camera, even though my camera's not that great on my computer. But see the kind of like red, the like red outline? Very weird. Anyway, it's from Taiwan, and it has all this writing on here, and then it has 1970, so that's when it came out. The back is very interesting because it's got lyrics printed, and a lot of them are wrong, as a lot of these early lyric sheets on these foreign Beatle records tended to be kind of wrong, because it's just somebody listening trying to get the right words. The record looks like this. It's on this like bright red label, kind of cool looking. It's got a piece of dust I see floating around here. There we go. And the sound quality of this is, I would say, okay. Not terrible, not great. It's more of just a fun item to have. I have another Beatles record from Taiwan. It's called like the Beatles, I think it's called the Beatles Again or something. It's from like 1970, 71 time period. It's got a bunch of their like singles, like Don't Let Me Down, Old Brown Shoe, that kind of stuff on it. But this is actually officially a bootleg, I do believe. I don't think this is an official release because it doesn't have anything, you know, it doesn't say anything about EMI or Apple on it or anything like that. So anyway, just kind of a unique addition to my Beatles collection. But yeah, it's Abbey Road from Taiwan. And last but not least, this is something I've wanted for a long, long time, and I'm really happy. It actually came in the mail today. This is Revolver, and this is from Japan. And it is from the EAS flag series, and it's, of course, missing the Obi strip. But I have another one from this series. I have Beatles for Sale, and I think I also have Rubber Soul, and I think I have Let It Be as well. So I'm trying to get the whole series. The sound quality of these is generally pretty good. This one's in a little bit of kind of rough shape. I would say it's definitely enjoyable to listen to, but during the quiet parts, there's a little bit of, you know, crackling going on, but not terrible. It has amazing bass, though. The bass on these Japanese releases, in my opinion, is really, really excellent. I don't know why that is. I guess just the way they pressed it, they just did it in a great way. So to me, it's worth it alone just for that. But here's the cover. Only real big difference is it's got this Apple logo right here instead of the Parlophone or the Capital logo that we're used to seeing. And it's also got written up here, if you can see it, stereo EAS, the number 80556. And in the back, kind of looks like the mono back, the British mono, but it doesn't have the flaps. It just has these white bars there. Then it's kind of cool. So the actual album is on the Apple label, as I just mentioned, but I've mentioned it again. And it looks like this, kind of like the lighter Apple label. And it's not working right now because the glare is a little bit too much, but it's just how it is. You'll just have to believe me. Side B. And then, like I was about to say, cool thing about this, I think, is that it comes with a lyric sheet. And you get some photos of the Beatles. And I believe these are all from, well, probably like 65, it looks like. 65-ish, maybe 66. But a lot of Japanese writing, and then you get the inside booklet, lyrics in English and Japanese. Again, a lot of them are wrong. The most blatant wrong one is that the chorus of Eleanor Rigby, they have written, I look at all the lonely people. I look at all the lonely people, as opposed to look at all the lonely people. So it's kind of funny. And then the back, it's got a shot of the Beatles during the Help film. So anyway, happy to add this to the collection. And like I said, I've wanted this one for a long time. And I finally found it. I got this on eBay, actually. So I don't go on eBay a whole lot and buy records, but I did do it this time, and happy I did. And in fact, actually, I got the Beatles interview disc on Discogs. I've been using Discogs a lot lately, actually looking at Discogs. I haven't really been buying that much stuff. But I was actually curious to ask a lot of you if you've ever used Discogs. And if you have, what do you think of it? I really like it because it's nice to be able to just search for anything, and you can just see as many copies that are available. You can see the condition they're in. The only thing I don't like is there are not photos for every individual record that they're selling on there. It's just a generic photo that one person's uploaded for that particular pressing. And a lot of times, I want to make sure that the people, a lot of times people put up things that they think are the right pressing or the right catalog number, but actually it's just being wrong. So anyway, Discogs for me, it's been a lot of fun to look at and check out. And then I've been slowly buying a few things, a lot of like jazz stuff right now. I've been buying. I've been kind of obsessed with the Verve label. Anyway, Discogs, a lot of fun. So I'd be curious to know if any of you have had any experience with Discogs, and if you do, please write that in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And I also forgot to mention that over the last couple of months, somewhere along there, I reached 600 subscribers, and I just think that's so cool. I haven't had as much time to make as many videos or go live, and I really do miss it, I gotta say, but I'm gonna try to do it this weekend. So maybe on Saturday night, I'll try to do a live stream. So hopefully a lot of you can be there, and I'd love to catch up with you. But that's it for now. So these are my Beatle finds, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Revolver. Revolving.